welcome back to the Mother and Daughter Disney podcast. My name is Amanda. I'm here with my lovely mother.
Hi, I'm Janette.
And today we're going to go over how we would plan our Animal Kingdom day. So I told my mom, I was like, all right, you're going to plan from like basically a rope drop to leaving the park. Like you've spent a whole day in Animal Kingdom. What do you think an ideal day in Animal Kingdom kind of would look like? So first, do you want to start, I guess, maybe what you're packing in your bag?
Oh, I didn't even think about that.
Well, I guess should I say, are there anything specific you think that is important
not for
to bring for Animal Kingdom?
No.
I think one thing I would know
the only thing I usually bring is bug spray.
Yeah, one thing I would know is that I think Animal Kingdom, especially in the summer, can be more hot than some of the other parks. Even though there is a lot of shade in Animal Kingdom, I think because there's so many trees and it's very condensed, it can.
But there's also a lot of bugs.
Yeah, you feel the humidity and there's a lot of bugs too. So I think packing sunscreen, bug spray.
That, what is it, type O blood that the mosquitoes love.
Oh yeah, I have no idea.
So I do not leave the hotel room without bug stuff on, and I most likely carry a little like those bug towelettes with me when we go to Animal Kingdom, because as much as they try to control the mosquito population in the other parks, Animal Kingdom, like you said, is damp. It's got lots of trees, lots of waterfalls, lots of animals, lots of things, and the bugs are there.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Just keeping in mind is that this is the park where you're gonna have more of that in comparison to the other parks. If people, I know a lot of people have the cooling towels that they like, or like the little fans and the little spray bottles.
You dress accordingly. I dress always with a darker pair of pants on. I never wear a light pair of pants to Animal Kingdom because you find that you're sitting on a lot of rocks, benches, things that you end up sitting and getting up and finding out your light pants are all dirty. So I wear a lot of darker color clothing, and I wear a lot of comfortable shoes. And you're walking on a lot of wet, dusty walkways.
Like uneven walkways.
Yes, uneven walkways.
It's hard to describe,
Yes, if it's early in the morning, they're wet. Lots of things going on, so that I always
it's like when they created Animal Kingdom, they did like the imprints of like leaves and rocks and, animal footprints and stuff like that.
So the water and the dampness kind of settles in. So you've got to be very careful what you put on your feet when you're going. So I dress accordingly to go to Animal Kingdom.
Yeah, for sure.
Something very light, something very easy to wear, but darker pants and comfortable shoes that are not white, because white will not survive.
And also note too that the parking lot, if you're parking at least, the parking lot has this huge long walk in the bright sun. There is no shade.
Even when you get off, even when the trams were running.
Yeah, there is there's a long walk from the trams to the entrance of the park. Apparently that was partially designed that way to make it seem like you're in like this desert parking lot. And then like when you're in a desert and you kind of see like the mirage in the distance.
Mirage of water? Yeah.
That's what it's supposed to mimic, sort of. There's like the mirage of like Animal Kingdom's there, and then you actually get there.
You don't notice how big it is when the Christmas tree is up.
You still notice how big it is.
It's
usually a long walk.
Right, it's usually cooler and the Christmas tree's there. But when that Christmas tree's not there and it's warm.
Even when you're walking to the buses, it's a long walk.
It's long.
And it's all in the sun. It's tough.
It's all in the sun, yes. You can't even go somewhere to go get out of the sun. Like
that's what I'm saying. There's nothing.
No, nothing. Yes, you're right.
Yeah.
You're right. It is a very tough walk.
Yeah, it is a tough walk.
It's still one of my favorites.
Oh, yeah, no, I love Animal Kingdom. Sorry, what do you have first on your notes?
Okay. Well, it was funny because you said Amanda told me, she says, okay, we're going to do Animal Kingdom. You have to figure out a day at Animal Kingdom. I have to tell you that, honestly, it's very rare that we would spend a whole day.
Yeah, we usually do not spend a whole day at Animal Kingdom.
We usually spend half a day. Most of the time, it's a morning into the later, mid-afternoon. Once we went later and stayed until nighttime because we specifically wanted to see Pandora at night.
Yeah.
I have been there also at night, where a friend of mine, and I went with her down to see her house in Florida. We went over to Animal Kingdom, and I was in Yak and Yeti for dinner, where we were, because the park was already closing.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. The park closes earlier than the other parks.
It does, closes than everything else. And the park was closing and it was getting dark. And when we came out of the restaurant, there was nobody anywhere except a security guard. And he was standing in Harambe Plaza, and we were coming down the hill from Asia, and the music was playing, and he was dancing. He was just having himself a good old party by himself. And we stopped to talk to him. But it was so eerie to me because I had never, ever been in a park in Disney where we were the only ones. Usually you're in the middle of 20 million people, either walking this way or walking that way. It was so amazing to be there when it was empty. So I have to say that we normally don't ever spend a whole day. And we usually start early because my favorite is the safari. And I find that when you go to the safari in the morning, that more animals are out.
Yeah.
I think there's feeding times more early in the morning. So those animals are out and about. So you get to see more when you do the safari. Plus, it's a very long line going in and out of the jungle there if you don't get the lightning lane. And it can get very hot when you're there. I suggest we get the Lightning Lane.
Yes, that's the thing. Like, would you do Lightning Lane or not? So Lightning Lane is normally the lowest price at Animal Kingdom. Overall, there are less rides in Animal Kingdom in comparison to the other parks, which is partially that. And also Animal Kingdom, I would say probably is one of the more lesser visited parks in comparison to the other parks
I would
as
think
well.
so, yeah.
And also say too that generally, depending upon the time of year, sometimes the rides don't have super long waits and sometimes they do. It really depends on the time of the year.
It depends on if they break down or not.
For sure. So, well, specifically for Kilimanjaro Safari, if the animals are standing in the road and then suddenly get backed up and you're waiting 2 hours. So,
well, when you're talking to me, I don't go on Kilimanjaro safaris. I've only been on it twice, and the second time I did get sick.
No,
I
you
got
mean
nauseous.
Expedition Everest you're talking about?
Yeah, once I knew what was going on. I want Lightning Lane for 2 rides. I want to go on Pandora, and I want to go on my safari.
Yeah.
And I think it's worth every penny not to wait on those lines.
Yeah.
Those lines are ridiculous, both of them.
So with the Pandoras, what she's referring to is Flight of Passage. So there's 2 rides in Pandora.
Sorry,
remember?
Flight of Passage.
My mom only ever calls Flight of Passage Pandora. But there is the Navi River Journey as well. We just she disregards Navi River Journey.
That one I would only go on with Lightning Lane. I would never.
But there are 2 rides,
ever
and the main one is Flight of Passage.
Flight of Passage. Okay, I love Flight of Passage. I think it just amazes me how it feels. It just amazes me. So those are the 2 rides that I think for me is worth the Lightning Lane, because when that safari stops, it backs everything up.
Yeah.
And there are times when we've been on the line without the Lightning Lane where it has been ridiculous. And that's my favorite ride. And for me to have to give up and not say, I'm not waiting like 2 hours or 3 hours to wait to go on that ride. I go to Disney just to go on the safari.
Yeah, no, for sure.
That's my favorite. So I say Lightning Lane is worth it. So we get the Lightning Lane.
For sure. Let's also back up for a second. Where do you think you're going to get breakfast in Animal Kingdom?
Up until now, breakfast has never been a thing in Animal Kingdom.
So I have that I would go to Kusafiri Coffee Shop and Bakery because this is where they have the giant Mickey-shaped cinnamon roll.
Yes,
I will say we normally don't get breakfast in Animal Kingdom.
Now they also have a breakfast sandwich in Asia.
Yeah, I saw that too.
Yes. That's where I would go to get it.
So do you know where it is?
Yes. Well, yes. It's when you're walking into Asia and it branches off to the left. I want to say almost right past Yak and Yeti's. I think where it branches off to the left, to the right is where they're selling that breakfast sandwich.
I'm not sure because I didn't look up your breakfast sandwich.
Okay.
So I don't have the place off the top of my head.
It's when you're walking towards
What's
Asia.
on the sandwich?
It's like sausage and egg.
Okay.
And I think it's on some kind of croissant roll or buttered roll, or it's not like just a regular bagel or anything. It looks good. I got to tell you. And if I was years ago, they never had anything to have for breakfast. You had to get a cinnamon bun outside the gate before you got in.
Yeah, I remember that.
Nothing.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now if I was going to get breakfast, I probably would get the Mickey-shaped cinnamon roll just because I think that would be kind of fun
I tend to like an egg sandwich better. And when I saw that they had that, I said, next time we go to Animal Kingdom, we can have breakfast.
Is it the stuffed pancake sandwich?
Yes, that's what it is. It's in a pancake. It's in something. I knew it was in something special, but it looked good. And if I was going to have breakfast, that's what I'd get.
So this is the stuffed pancake sandwich with sausage, guava paste, egg, and cheese for $8.99, and it's currently being sold. It's currently being sold at Drinkwalla in the Asia Pavilion.
Yeah, see, I knew it was in Asia. So, like I said, we like to go to the park early when we go to Animal Kingdom. It's not like, let's go for a nice leisurely breakfast and go to Animal Kingdom. It's get up, get dressed, we're going to Animal Kingdom. So usually we try to get there when the park's opening because that's what I like. I like to go straight to the safari. My thing is go straight to the safari. Hopefully we get a Lightning Lane early so we can get on the safari, go through the safari. I enjoy every minute of it. Then we don't rush through the park. I like to not rush through the park. My thing is that I don't run past everything. I think that stopping to see all the different little waterfalls and the ponds and the little animals and the little signs that they have that tell you what's animal and those little enclosures, I kind of like that because to me, it's like a mixture of going to the zoo and going to a park.
Yeah, for sure.
So for me, I love the zoo. So I love walking through and seeing all the animals and do whatever. So we never rush through. Okay. The other attraction is Pandora. Okay. I did say it right on here. Yes, Pandora.
No, it's called Flight of Passage. We literally just said, I was trying to see if you'd realize
okay,
it.
I'm looking at it. Wait a minute. Did I do it? Yes, I wrote Pandora. I would like to go on the Flight of Passage. Now, if it's getting to the point where we're around lunchtime, well, then my perfect day would be that I would have a reservation. If I was going, well, that's what happened when I got sick last time. Had a reservation for lunch at 12 o'clock at Yak and Yeti's. I love Yak and Yeti's. Now, if you can't, if we don't have the time or the inclination.
Well, they do have the little quick service. For
yes,
Yak and Yeti's
I was going to say, if we don't have the inclination to actually go in and sit down, like if we know we're having a big dinner, sometimes a big lunch is not a good thing. That day I was planning to go have a nice lunch at Yak and Yeti's because we were just going to do snacks in the bar at the firework. But the idea here is that I like Yak and Yeti's. And if I can't go into the restaurant, then we go to their fast food, because their fast food is a nice little courtyard where you can get little dumplings and things and fried rice and whatever and sit and have a nice little lunch in their courtyard. But that's what I would do. I would plan to say around 12 o'clock, because that's about when I get hungry.
Yeah.
12 o'clock, I want to stop and have lunch at Yak and Yeti.
Yeah. But we kind of have our morning rides the same. Because again, I would have my breakfast first. I would get there early. I would also suggest doing Kilimanjaro Safari first. I would then just do the Gorilla Falls trek, since it's basically right there.
Oh, that's right there.
So
yes.
I might as well, that's what you said too, like walking around. So it's like,
To me, that's
the Gorilla
walking
Falls
around.
trek. Yeah. And then I would also do the Pandora rides as well in the morning. So that would be Navi River Journey or Flight of Passage, either or.
Right.
Now the food in Pandora is always highly rated. Everyone
We've
says
just
the food
never
there is
eaten
really
there.
great.
Some of the stuff looks good.
It does look good, but I think it's hard because I just really prefer Asian food in a general sense.
too.
And the food that is in Pandora is kind of like Asian and African, I would say overall. I mean, like it's like named with like Pandora words, which is funny. So it's like fake food to a certain extent.
Right.
But yeah, but it's in reality, it's more of like Asian and African flair.
It does
type
look
of
good.
food.
If Yak and Yeti was not there,
Yeah.
I would.
That's what I was saying here. I would also
drift
suggest
towards
Yak and Yeti for lunch. Yeah.
towards there.
Yak and Yeti is one of I think the most highly rated places in all of Disney World.
Oh, I
as well
love it.
for
If I could eat
food.
Yak and Yetis every day,
Yeah,
I
Yak
would.
and Yeti is good. So I'd also suggest that. And again, if there's no reservation, then they also have the little quick service too.
Yes.
I would note the quick service does have less vegetarian options, which is the only thing.
Yeah,
so there is
it
less
has
food
less
to
options
eat.
about everything. But Yak and Yeti's
But
is
Yak and
a
Yeti
great
has
restaurant.
all Asian food, from like East Asian food to Indian food to Middle Eastern food. So it's a very big span of Asian food
Yes.
there.
Yak and Yeti's is one of my favorite restaurants in Disney. It is. I mean, we don't always get to go there, and that's why sometimes I would like to plan to have lunch. Unfortunately, if we're having usually when we leave Animal Kingdom, like later in the afternoon, we usually have some big dinner planned in Disney Springs or whatever.
So in this too, I would do an early lunch as well, because at this point you've only done like a few rides and like one trail and like walking around and stuff like that.
Right.
So I would always do an early lunch. I think the earliest we did lunch at Yak and Yeti was like 11 in the morning.
11:30. I think they open it at like 11:30.
Yeah, I remember one time we went there and like it was still technically like almost breakfast time. We're like, well, time for lunch.
Time for lunch.
We're
Get in
just-
there. Go.
Like, yeah, we had like the first seating for lunch. Me and my mom had the first seating for lunch. But I would suggest that mainly because of what I'm going to suggest for dinner, and also for the times of the shows, because like, in my afternoon rides, this is what I would do, like the Festival of the Lion King and the Finding Nemo show and stuff
Right,
like that.
yours is
Great
similar
Place
to
Beyond.
mine, because
it is, yeah.
once we do like if we could get the lightning lane for Flight of Passage, well then we go have lunch.
Yeah.
And then after that was like Dinosaur or Navi River Ride, or like I said, and then the shows.
Yeah.
My favorite show is the Lion King. The other ones I could go see them, not go see them.
I think I would do both Flight of Passage and the Navi River Journey around the same time, because then you don't have to go back to Pandora. Is the
Yeah,
thing.
so you don't
it's
have to
kind of-
crisscross the
It's a
park.
little bit out of because I was trying to think of like, all right, let's do the park in a circle. It's kind of hard to do in a perfect circle, so we're
Yes.
crossing a little bit. But if I could get all of Pandora out in the morning, then at least I know mainly be spending time in Africa and Asia in the afternoon.
Right.
And then as of recording, Dinoland USA is completely demolished.
It's closed.
So in the
That's
future,
all
this will
closed,
change
yes.
once the Southern American land
Right.
opens. But for now, yeah. So this is where I had that too, where I had like Expedition Everest, Kilimanjaro Rapids, the Maharaja Trek, and Dinosaur, like the main ones.
Yeah,
I
see,
would
Amanda
say.
will go on those rides. I won't.
Yeah.
So for me, it's the Maharaja Trek I love. I mean, now it's probably very crowded.
Well, you go on Dinosaur.
I go on Dinosaur.
And Dinosaur's still
but
open.
Dinosaur's going to be closing too.
It is going to be closing
Yes,
eventually, but
yes.
right now it is still open.
Yes, I'll go on Dinosaur. I will not go on the River Rapids. Do not want to get wet and be swirled around.
Honestly,
And-
you really don't get that wet on the rapids itself. You get wet because there's this one waterfall that they make you sit under, like just pouring water as if you're just in a shower.
Right.
They make you sit under this one waterfall for like 5 minutes, and then you go along, and then that's it.
that's because they want everybody to get off and buy all those towels and shoes.
Yeah, it
and
was so
things.
funny because it was me and Ted and two other people that we didn't know. This is my Disney memory, I guess. But yeah, it was the four of us on this thing, and I kid you not, they had us all sit like across from each other. We only got wet on that one part. The rest of the ride, not a single drop hit us, but that one huge thing, they just
did come
dumped
off
water
wet
on
off
us,
that
and we were like,
ride.
"This is ridiculous."
I know.
So-
But see, this is where I would do my little, like I said, Maharaja Trek,
Yeah.
walk around, kind of see everything, going in and out of the shops, do it like that kind of stuff. I mean, obviously
sure.
shops are all interspersed in between. Any shop we pass, we go through.
I'd also do like the bird show as well.
Yes, the bird show is fun to just watch if you have nothing else
And
going
I think
on.
too, a lot of the shows, their times are mainly in the afternoon is the thing. Like some of them do have morning times, but that's why in my head I was like, you probably could do the bird show maybe right before lunch is what I was thinking, because it's right next to Yak and Yeti.
Right next to Yak and
So
Yeti.
and like depending upon the
But
times.
that's like not you
but-
don't have to make a reservation. You kind of just pass it and say, stop and
Oh
see.
yeah, Yeah, but you do have to coordinate when the times of the shows are.
Yes.
So you can try to fit all 3 shows in. Because as of recording, we have the Festival of the Lion King, the Bird Show, which I'm blanking on the exact name. I'm so sorry. It's like there's something with Up, I know.
Yeah.
And then the Big Blue and Beyond show. I don't know if exactly what it's called. Finding Nemo and Beyond or something like that is what it is. And those are the 3 shows because it's Tough to Be a Bug just closed. So there's no show for that anymore.
No, we don't go to that anymore.
Again, and all of Diamond USA has been
closed, so you don't walk through there
has been
anymore.
demolished.
When they had that little roller coaster, you'd go on.
I did think about not doing this episode right now since Animal Kingdom is such in like an influx at the
Influx?
moment. But I still think it's worth doing
But
it
I don't
because
think
it
that-
is so in flux that
Yes,
there's still
but I
stuff
don't
to
think
do.
it would. I mean, the only thing we'd have to add at this point is when they do the new land, we'd have to add that to our
Yeah, I think it will. I think once
We'll probably
the new
spend a
land
little bit more time.
Yeah, I think once the new land comes, I think people's time in Animal Kingdom will be more. Because I think as of right now, we're doing Animal Kingdom as a full day, but you could really just do Animal Kingdom as a half day.
Yeah,
You could
I mean,
squeeze it all in a half day, either morning or evening.
I would say yes.
And then you
I
could
would
be
say
done.
like 2/3 of a day.
Yeah.
Like by the time
if
we
you
leave-
really want to do everything. Yeah.
Yes, if you really want to do everything and see everything and go everywhere and find everything, yes, then you have to spend more than just 2/3 of a day. We kind of pick and choose, and because, like I said, I don't go on Everest, but we do wait for Amanda to go on Everest when we're there. We do wait for you to go on Everest when we're there. We just kind of hang out while you go on the ride and whatever. But I do like to do the other 2 rides early, get them done, get in, get them done, have a nice lunch. If I can sit at Yak and Yetis, I love it. If I couldn't, then we get some kind of Asian food because it puts me in the mood when I'm there because I'm walking through Asia and I just in the mood for Asian food. I would like one of these days to try, what's it called, the Tamu Lounge. Some of their stuff looks very interesting too, and it looks very relaxing to be sitting there by the water. And it seems like with the curtains and the things that they have, and makes it feel like so gentle and relaxing. I think at one point, if I was going to stay in the park longer, I would like to take like a late afternoon snack, sit down, have a drink. They have like all these fancy cocktails and different things. Have a drink and a snack and do that one time because we have not done that, and I would really like to do that one time.
You could do that too. And then
Yes.
I would also say, I feel like you can do this either in the early morning or in the late afternoon is the Rafiki's Planet Watch. Since that is, you have to take a train to it and then you take a train back is the thing. And they do have a last call train. So I suggest that because I know some people say sometimes when you're on the last train, it's less crowded because like people are leaving and they don't want to be caught like, on the last train or something like that.
Right.
Same thing for the first train. So either you're in the first train or the last train is kind of what I was
We haven't
suggesting.
done that in a while.
We haven't done it in a while, no. It's not our like,
Well, we
top
hadn't
thing to
done
do.
Maharaja Trail in a while too, because like I said, a lot of times we squeeze in the stuff we really want to do, and because we don't spend a whole day there most of the time, we would leave and then not do all the stuff. But Maharaja Trail, when we went through it last time,
Yeah, no, I love that
I
trek.
forgot how wonderful it was.
Yeah, no,
Like
it's
all
so
the
nice.
different things that they
I
have.
also think the Maharaja trek is so far in the back because its entrance is by Kilimanjaro's
Yes, you
rapids.
don't realize it's there.
So yeah, that's what it's called, Kilimanjaro. Yeah, no, that's what it's called. Oh, the Kali River Rapids. So yes, that's what I'm saying. It's by the Kali River Rapids is the thing. So I feel like it's kind of so far back there is the thing that a lot of people. I mean, like now with Boxo, I think everyone knows.
well,
it's
now
back there.
because now
But
everybody
I
wants
think
to
previous to it though, it's like sometimes I remember one time we couldn't even find it. We're like, where's the entrance to this trek?
go. And when we went, we were like one of the only ones walking through. I mean, some of the areas we were the only ones there, and then it got a little busier when there was things to look at and whatever. And I was surprised at how much there really was in there. It was not just like a little trail.
Also, the way they decorate it was as if it was like a fallen Asian ruins almost, which looks
Yes.
so cool. Like even just the stuff in there. It's
I
like,
was
would take
impressed.
photos of just the stuff
Yes.
in here.
And I know in our podcast when we did it, when we went on our vacation that time and we did it, I remember how we were saying how we were surprised and impressed how good it was.
Yeah,
That
no,
we
it's so
had
good.
not done it in a while.
I like the Maharaja truck over the Gorilla Falls truck personally. I like the decor
yeah,
of it
I'm
better.
not a big gorilla fan.
Well, also, I think the Gorilla Falls trek takes place, I say in quotes, like in Africa, whereas the Maharaja trek, I say in quotes, takes place in Asia.
Asia
So,
with the old temples.
that's
and
what I'm saying. It's like the decor
ruins
is different and
yes.
the animals are different too. Like you're seeing the Asian animals versus like the African animals.
Right.
So it's like, I think I just really like the Asian animals more fun
Yeah.
to like look at, just on a personal basis.
Right.
But again, I do love that trek a lot. So I would definitely do that. And I think that trek, I mean, like now it's always crowded because of Boxo, who's a little baby
Yeah,
tiger.
everybody wants to see him.
And he's growing so fast. It's crazy.
I know,
He's
by the
only-
time we get there
he's
again,
only
he's
been
gonna
on,
be a
he's
full
only been
tiger.
in that habitat for like what 2 months, and he's already like doubled in size.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
like, oh my gosh,
He's
It's
gonna be a
like-
full-grown tiger
I know.
by
By
the
the
time
end of
we're
the
there.
year, he's still going to be a baby, but he's going to be a full-grown
Full-grown
tiger, and
tiger.
everyone's going to be like, oh my gosh, the baby grew up so fast. So
See if he still has a baby attitude.
I know, right? I think
But that's
he
what I
probably
mean.
will.
My day at Animal Kingdom, when you asked me to do my day at Animal Kingdom, that was the thing, is that I just feel that I don't ever want to be there from first thing in the morning till very late at night. And I'm not so sure if it's because of the fact that there's less places to, as much as it's got a lot of shade, there's less places to sit down. It seems like there's more walking and less sitting, because a lot of the stuff you do in Animal Kingdom is walking around and looking at the trek and going through the trek and looking at the animals and doing all the stuff. So it's just been one of those parks for some reason that we don't do from the time it opens till the time it closes. But I think that once the other land comes, I think that may change, because that's going to take up time. So I think that at that point, it may shift a little bit. But I think that I like doing the big rides first, and then I like going and having a nice lunch, and then I like going and doing the shows or doing the dinosaur ride or doing the things that are off on that side of the park. So I think it's just a matter of, like you said, trying not to jump back and forth, because it is a lot of walking. I mean, it's a big park. It's a really big park. So there is a lot of walking, but I just feel that if I get there first thing in the morning, by the late afternoon, I'm ready to go, and then go someplace else where we go and sit down and have dinner or do whatever has to be done.
Yeah, so on my way out, I kind of had, this is where I do Oasis Springs in the shopping, which is what we normally do as well. So, because all the shops are kind of right in front of the Tree of Life for the most part, like all like the main shops, I would say overall. So those are ones we always typically do on the way out, especially.
Yeah, because if you're going to buy anything, you have to carry it.
Where would you be going then for dinner in Animal Kingdom?
Animal Kingdom, well, if I was staying for dinner, I would just switch my lunch to dinner and go to Yak and Yeti's. But the only other place that I had fun having food at was the Rainforest Cafe.
That's where I had my dinner. Yeah.
Not so much at the tables, at the bar.
Oh, I would sit at the tables because I like being in the forest. So.
I thought it was great to sit at the bar. The bartenders were great. Everybody was fun. People were having fun at the bar. You sit on these little animal butts, which was really funny. And I really enjoyed it. And the food was good.
Yeah.
I mean,
I think the Rainforest Cafe is so fun. And I love that it is here because it fits so well in with the theming of Animal Kingdom. And so the Rainforest Cafe is not owned by Disney. It's like its own corporation, so to speak. It's actually owned by the same people. I was going to say it's owned by the same one as Yak and Yeti, funny enough. But I think the Rainforest Cafe is so fun. I'm so glad they have one here. And they do have one in Disney Springs as well. So those are the two. And it's funny, when you look them up, they only actually have a few locations. I thought they were a much wider chain for some reason, but there's really only like 4 of them in the US. And one of them is closing. So it's just like, wow, it's like, I really thought this was a more widespread thing, but it's like, I'm surprised it's not, because I think it's so fun.
It's fun.
Know.
It was.
I imagine the cost to like build it is a lot. It's what it is. So they haven't expanded in a long time, I suppose.
Maybe.
Like,
it is amazing.
There's a lot of animatronics.
Yes, a lot of animatronics in it, a lot of stuff that goes on in there, and it's always been fun. So if I had to eat, they do have 2 decent places to eat. Those are the places I'd eat. Those 2 places. We have not eaten at like Tusker House, I think it is, that has
Tusker House, and there's Tiffin's as well.
Well, Tiffin's, yes, is another one that opened later on, but Tiffin's, we have not eaten.
I've heard very good things about both of them, especially for like, because one Tusker House is character, right? So one of them
that's character
dining.
So yes.
So I've heard good things about both of them. We don't really do character dining personally, so that's just not really our thing.
No, but
and
we
also
were supposed to go to
Tiffin's
Tiffin's once. I remember we had a reservation at Tiffin's, and for some reason it got canceled. We were going to go check out Tiffin's.
But we don't really do character dining. We don't do buffet or family style eating as well. So like those 3 things we tend to stay away from, and Tiffin's and Tusker House are basically 2 of those things.
Right.
Some of the other quick services and Animal Kingdom, because I feel like Animal Kingdom's food, there's a lot of stands, right? There's a lot of those little carts.
One time,
lots of carts you can eat from. And the carts all have weird hours. Sometimes they're open, sometimes they're not.
You walk past them and a lot of them are not open. Yeah. Although one time we were walking out of the park and we had not had lunch, and I was getting cranky. We were with Amanda and Ted and Joe and I was getting cranky, and I said, look, I have to eat something. We passed the pizza cart, and I got to tell you, it was good pizza.
Yeah.
It was just a little cart on the side, and we had the pizza. It was a very good piece of pizza.
There's a lot of small places to eat, I think, in Animal Kingdom, which I think makes it hard to plan sometimes, because there are so many. You don't know if they're going to be
open or not.
Well, not just that, but they all have their own names, so it's hard to find them in the first place. It's hard to find where they're going to be. Because they're just carts, there isn't any proper seating around them.
No.
So then you just have to go find seating on your own, essentially. And so I think that's kind of a challenge in that sense for Animal Kingdom, because then it only has a few sit-down restaurants if you think about it. So the options for sit-down restaurants are limited. The options even for quick services then are limited as well.
And the options for seating when you get quick service are very limited.
Like you have Pizzafari, of course, which we haven't eaten at Pizzafari in many, many years.
No.
So I don't know if the pizza's good.
Now, if that's the same pizza that was on the cart, then it would be good pizza, because I'm telling you, that cart.
Well, it's funny because we went to Pizza Rizzo in Hollywood Studios, and that pizza was really good. So that's what I'm saying. I don't know if Pizzafari is good or not.
Right, no idea.
And then there's also the one where the Starbucks is in too that has some food.
Right, but there's also the big two of them are barbecue stuff, like that kind of
flame barbecue.
Barbecue type food.
And some people love that. And they are keeping the Dinosaurus restaurant. It's like a quick service in Dino Land.
Yes, Dino Land.
I've heard that's also very good as well. We've never actually eaten there before.
No.
But I've heard that's very good. And that one also has some barbecue food too.
Yes.
But again, we don't really eat barbecue food.
Yeah, because of the theme of the barbecue
and because I'm vegetarian, barbecue tends to not lean towards what I can eat because there's not a lot of vegetarian barbecue out there.
Right.
So we don't do this. So that's why it's like, I kind of knew our days were going to look very similar because we kind of do the same thing every time we go to Animal Kingdom.
Well, we do. We kind of have and like I said,
we don't branch out as much in Animal Kingdom.
I'm mainly going to Animal Kingdom to see the animals.
Yeah.
That's what I'm going to Animal Kingdom for.
Yeah, I agree. Because again, at the end of the day, Animal Kingdom is essentially just an extremely high quality zoo with some extra rides.
And that's what I'm using it for.
Yeah.
Okay. Some people go just for the rides. I go for the animals.
Yeah.
I mean, the Kilimanjaro Safaris happens to be a ride, but I'm going to see the animals.
Well, it's funny. I thought about this the other day because Boxo was such a huge draw, right? Everyone was standing online waiting an hour to go see Boxo in the morning. And I think about it because you can't see the elephants unless you're on the safari ride, right? Because when Cora was born, who was the baby elephant?
One of the trails you could kind of see them in the distance.
In the Gorilla Falls trek, but they're not really on display.
No, they're not really on the trail.
Not on display is like how I say it.
Not where you can see them up close.
But I wonder though if they did, like for instance, have like the baby zebras or the baby elephants on display, if they would attract more of a crowd to come to Animal Kingdom because then people could get more up and close, even through the glass to see the baby animals. Because at the end of the day, and there's supposed to be another baby elephant that's going to be born this year though.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there's another baby elephant in Animal Kingdom that's supposed to be born this year. But that's what I'm saying, that the only time you can see some of these animals is on the safari itself. And so I kind of think it would be beneficial to maybe put them on the trails or the treks because then people could, I think it would draw more people.
I think it
to
would
the
draw
park.
because look at how many people it drew for Baxco.
That's what I'm saying, because even going on the ride, like yes, you'll wait on the ride and then you'll see Cora for a few seconds, but then it's very quick.
Right.
You can only get a few photos of her and stuff like that. You
Keep
can't
on
just
going.
you can't see how playful the animals are when they're that young. Seeing Boxo play around is so cute. Everyone who sees him says he's always playing around doing stuff. Like he's pretty active.
We have a friend down in Florida and she said she went and she said everybody's standing there and the minute he does anything cute, the whole crowd goes, oh.
Because he's a little baby tiger, and it's so thrilling to see like a up a tiger. It's like I think it's thrilling to see any baby animal to a certain extent.
And you're right. I think that if they had more of them, where you could get up to the point where you can look at them,
try to get better photos and like see them interacting
more,
more
up close
rather
doing
than
their
just
thing.
So I don't know. Especially with Boxer, I wonder if maybe they'll change their marketing going forward or how they do it. So
maybe they'll notice
see the
like you
babies.
did.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think because there are people like me who go to Animal Kingdom because they get to see the animals.
Yeah.
I go because I'm never going on a safari. I don't care what everybody says, oh, you could do that in the future. No, we are never, ever, ever going on a safari. Never. So my thing is, this is the closest I'm going to get to these animals, to be able to see them, to be able to, get to ride through and see what they're doing and get the feel for them. Then walk through the Maharaja Trek and see, like the tigers up close and do what I have to do. I just love the idea of being there. So that's where I go to Animal Kingdom. Mm-hmm. Do I want to be there for 12 hours? No.
No, probably would leave after. I think Animal Kingdom right now, again, it's probably going to be different when the South American land opens. Mm-hmm. Is a half day either in the morning or the afternoon, whichever you prefer. So, and then for my other half of the day, if you have a park hopper pass, I would honestly maybe do like Epcot or Hollywood Studios.
When we had park hoppers, we used to go to Epcot and have dinner there.
That's what I'm saying. So like I would either park hop elsewhere. If you don't have a park hopper pass, you can always go to Disney Springs afterwards instead.
That's
or do something else. Or do like a pool day at the resort. So or wherever you're staying, Airbnb,
and then go
hotel.
Someplace, So like I said, when I was supposed to go this last trip, Joe and I had, Amanda was going to Universal, so Joe and I had made plans to go to Animal Kingdom, and we were going to do Animal Kingdom, have a nice lunch at Yak and Yeti's, do whatever we wanted to do, and then go back to the hotel and just go out for like a snacky kind of light dinner. Mm-hmm. Because once you eat the heavy food, for me anyway, I can't eat 2 big gigantic meals a day. I just can't. So I need to plan it so that I know that like I would never go to the boathouse or someplace where I'm going to go have a big heavy dinner after I go to Animal Kingdom. After Animal Kingdom, if I have lunch at Yak and Yeti's or Rainforest Cafe, I'm going to be wanting going to someplace that I can eat a salad or something light or things like that.
No, for sure. Well, this is normally where we would go into some Disney news, but this is a very pre-recorded episode, almost a month in advance. So instead, we'll just jump to our Disney birthdays.
Okay.
And that is because the reason why I planned this episode now is because on April 22nd in 1988, Animal Kingdom opened for the first time. So how many years is that? 1998 to now. So I guess it's like, 25 years or something like that. So so 25 years for Animal Kingdom. So happy birthday to Animal Kingdom. So exciting. And so so now this is basically our tips for planning the day.
That's even more. That's 35 years.
1998.
Oh, 98.
Oh, sorry. Did I say 88 by accident?
Yeah, 88.
I'm looking at 98 on my notes.
Yeah, I was going to say, wait a minute,
I said
88. That's, 98.
Yeah, April 22nd, 1998.
I was gonna say, I didn't think it opened that early. Okay.
So what is that? So yes, I guess there would be 27 years. 27 years, yeah.
27 years.
Not me trying to do math live on the podcast right now.
Yeah, that's what I said. When you said 88, it's like, wait a minute, we're in
I
the
got
30
confused
year,
looking at it, and then
yeah.
because then the next birthday is on April 25th. I think that's why I said 25 years by accident. So on April 25th, it is my cousin Brianna's birthday, and on April 27th, it is my cousin Gay's birthday. So that's our birthdays for this week. But yeah, so exciting. 27 years for Animal Kingdom. So I wish I was born in 1998 just so me and Animal Kingdom would be like the same age, but I was not born in 1998. So, and it's funny too, because I was looking at something online saying, so if you look at if a Disney World and Universal, Animal Kingdom opened up in 1998, and from 1998 to 2025, 27 years later is when Epic Universe is opening. So it's taking 27 years for another major theme park
to
be opened in Florida. So again, of course, there's lots of little theme parks in Florida, all love and peace to those theme parks.
Right.
There's lots of theme parks, SeaWorld, things like that. But for the two big conglomerates of Disney and Universal, 27 years it took for a new park to open
up a new one.
Which is kind of crazy, since a lot of these other parks technically all opened up within like 20 years of each other. So 20 years, all these parks sprung up, and then they're like, well, that's good enough.
That's good enough.
Now we'll just focus on, adjusting these parks, adding more stuff to these parks, filling them out, doing stuff with Animal Kingdom and, whatever it may be. But yeah, but for a new park to open, Epic Universe is the first major one, which is opening, like at this point, only in like a month. So it's opening real soon. There's been lots of previews for Epic Universe, of course. I've been seeing lots of stuff on it. I'm very curious to see when Epic Universe does open, what people will think of it. Because I think a lot of times when people go to previews of stuff, it's always, like, oh, this is so great. This looks so cool. Everything's working really perfectly. Everything's designed, perfectly, everything like that. And I think things will be different, once it opens. I don't know. I'm just very curious to see when it opens, what people will say. So very curious about that. But all right, do you have a memory for today's podcast?
My memory is the first time going on the safari. Yeah. I was just so excited because, like I said, for me, it was my chance to get up close and personal. And it was amazing. And every time I go on it, it's amazing. So just knowing that Animal Kingdom was open was just amazing.
No, I love the safari so much. I remember one time when we went on as well, we heard like the lion roar a little bit.
Yes.
The male lion, which is very thrilling as well. We went early in the morning and the male lion was just kind of like waking up, he wasn't full on roaring, but he was like making sounds, and everyone was just like, oh my God, this is amazing. It's like whenever an animal does anything, you're like, oh my God, it's like the giraffe is walking. It's walking.
One time we were on, he really did roar.
Yeah, it's quite thrilling to see the animals, and I love seeing the animals. So we have a whole vlog of this as well, but one time when we were on, the zebras were going crazy, and they literally said they didn't know why the zebras were acting like that.
Right. But baby zebra, that's when they had the baby zebra.
Well, it was the baby zebra was out, and then we think one of the mom zebras or the dad zebra was going crazy. So we were thinking our driver was saying that she thinks that perhaps the zebra felt a little bit threatened or something like that, and just start kind of going crazy. But it was so fun. The zebra was running around making all this noise. What was funny though is that as we're sitting there, the giraffes were just walking back and forth.
They had a wall come from where they were. She said giraffes are very, very, very nosy animals.
It was so funny though to watch all the giraffes kind of like walking over together as a herd, looking around. The zebra would run away. They would walk over to the other direction of where the zebra is going.
And of course, everybody behind us is stuck in line somewhere saying, what the hell's going on? And we were right in the middle of it.
Yeah, we were in the middle, like, just watching this happen, being like, what is going on?
It was so cool.
Again, watching those zebras just like walk around, being like, trying to get the gossip.
They were making all kinds of noise,
funny.
which you never hear. The zebras usually don't talk when you're going past them.
That's what I'm saying. It was so cool to hear
Each time is a new experience.
Yeah, it was so fun to see that. And I loved hearing that that giraffes are the gossips of the safari.
They're the nosiest ones on the savannah. They have to know everything that's going on.
Well, think about how tall they are. They might as well.
I know. They have to go
see everything. So they got to make sure they know what's going on.
I know.
I just thought that was so funny.
Little by little, they all were coming over.
Yeah, I know. It's like, I just love that so much. I feel like if the elephants were around too in that habitat, the elephants would also be over being like,
over there going, what's going on?
So I feel like elephants are also kind of gossipy, but they're in like a different habitat, so they couldn't cross over.
That's why I love Animal Kingdom. It's like,
it's so entertaining. It's always going to be different.
Yes.
So. All right, thank you everyone for listening to this week's episode of the podcast. Let us know on our Instagram, Almost Amanda X, how you like to plan your Animal Kingdom day. Do you guys do full days in Animal Kingdom? Do you spend more time? Are there other shows or different things that you'd like to do there? So we would definitely love to hear it. We also, again, we both mentioned the same restaurants, so there are more places to eat. So where do you like to
places to eat?
Where would you suggest eating as well? Where would you suggest breakfast spots to be and stuff like that? Again, we tend to do what's familiar to us.
Our Animal Kingdom.
Yeah, our favorite things, but there's other things to do that is not within our favorites, but could be in our favorites one day. So we'd love to hear it.
They also have a Donald Duck Daisy, I think it is, like kind of character breakfast.
Oh, yeah.
at one of the restaurants.
That's the thing. There's lots of stuff you can do.
Amanda told me to do my animal.
Yeah,
kingdom
no, like
day.
what we would suggest. So yeah, this is just our suggestions.
Our
of course.
idea
Yeah,
of
everyone
what
does
we
Disney
enjoy.
differently.
Yeah.
But again, make sure you give us a review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, or leave a comment down below if you are listening or watching on YouTube on our dedicated YouTube channel. But until next time, we will see you real soon. All right, bye.